Hi guys, welcome back to Baddie Bree's Diary. Oh, we made it. What are we on, like episode 7 or 8? uh, okay. So I did miss last week, but it was because I was sick. So I'm sorry about that, you guys. I should have recorded like a pre-recorded episode, but I thought it'd be better by Wednesday, but I wasn't. Sorry. I'm sorry. But so last week's episode was going to be on love and relationships and stuff since it was Valentine's week. I'm thinking we do this, we still continue that. Like, we can talk about love. We're not going to like shame people for dating. We're not going to shame people for having love or, being into somebody. We're not going to do that. This won't be no simp or gold digger kind of conversation. You know, we're just going to chit chat about relationships. Okay? Okay. So, um, I've had a few good relationships. I've had a few bad relationships. I've had some where I'm like, I wish they never happened. And I have some where I'm like, that taught me how to be me and be better. And because of that, I got through it and all that. So let's talk about like relationships. One, some people nowadays, they don't want relationships, and that's okay. Not everybody is monogamous, or not everybody wants to be a wife or a husband. Not everybody wants to be settled down or tied down, however you look at it, right? And that's okay. I don't think it's anything wrong if you want to live your life as that single girl or that single guy that's, just having fun when they have fun. They meet someone, they like them, they kick it, and then they keep on moving. Like, that's cool. Honestly, it's really cool. So, like, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with those who like open relationships or having two girlfriends or three boyfriends or a wife and a girlfriend if that's agreed upon, right? Like, if it's agreed upon, if it's consensual, I don't really see a problem with it, honestly. Honestly. Because at the end of the day, it's your life. Do what you feel is right. Do what you feel is necessary, what you need to do to make yourself happy, you know? But when you are in these relationships, you should make sure that they they treat you the way you want to be treated. And not everybody does treat you how you want to be treated. Like, I've had guys say some things to me or do some things to me and be like, I didn't deserve that, and I wish I would have spoke up more about it instead of just removing myself from the situation so it wouldn't keep happening. But you learn, you grow, and everything. And now, like, if I'm in a relationship, I I'm quick to be like, we're not gonna do that. See, what happened is, like, like, we're around. I want a serious relationship. I expect to be your girlfriend in 2 to 3 months, or I expect this, or I expect that. Like, there's like, you're supposed to set your boundaries. You're supposed to say, and if it doesn't work, then leave. You know what I mean? Like, for some people, they'll be like, yeah, I want you to be my girlfriend. I just need a little more time. And if you're like, well, a year of just dating and I'm not your girlfriend, like, that's enough time. And if you don't want to make me your girlfriend, deuces. So it just all kind of depends. And not saying that you're going to be dating for a whole year and you're not going to be someone's girlfriend, because to me that makes no sense. But it happens. I've heard those stories. I've known people who were like, yeah, we were talking for like a whole year, and then I finally was like, so am I your girlfriend? Like, and then being like, I didn't make you my girlfriend. So, setting boundaries, setting your, like, I will not accept this. You must treat me like this. Because you, like, every time I go on any social media, it don't matter if it's Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, if I'm on YouTube, if I'm watching movies now, like, even in movies, they'll show people who don't know how to treat the person right, and then they break up and they go with someone else, and that other person sets the boundaries up front and they're perfect with it. But when you start trying to set the boundaries in the middle of the relationship, or like after you know you want this person to be in your relationship, then it's like it's a problem. But when they get to the next person, they already got it. So I just feel like, right, personally, it's better to be upfront, because the relationships that were good for me were the ones where I was like, listen, you're not gonna play with me. You're not gonna try me. I need you to understand this is my boundary. This is what I want. This is what I need. And for I need you to either reciprocate, tell me why you can't do it, or just leave me the fuck alone. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong with leaving me alone. That's an option. Like, you don't have to be in my life. You know, like some people, I know I'm great. I know I'm amazing, but like, you don't have to be in my life, and I don't have to be in yours if I'm not fitting your status quo and you're not fitting mine. You know, like everybody has a different view on life and different like options and stuff. So it's like, it's okay. Like, not everybody's going to be for everybody, and that's okay. And I feel like we got to get used to that. Like, it's okay for a relationship not to work. Because I remember when I first started dating, the way I was just like, this has to work. I don't want to go out and date no more, because I would go on a date with a guy and he would be like, what would he say? He would be like, oh, you're not, you got to stop wearing colored hair, because no guy's going to marry you when you look like a clown. And you're sitting there eating your food and you're just like, so you're on a date with me and I have green and orange hair. Why are you on a date with me if you don't like my hair? You know what I mean? So it's like you'll go on dates with guys and you'll be like, I'm so tired. Like, for me personally, I've gone on dates and been like, this is why I'm single. This is why I'm single. And then when you meet someone who you like and you get along with, the conversation's good, you're comfortable around that person, they make you feel like you're queen, or like they checking all your checks on the check boxes and stuff. And then they don't respect what you want, or or maybe like you in the beginning they're respecting it, they're doing good, they're doing right, and then they start doing something that you don't like. Maybe they're flirting with other women, maybe they're going out all the time, maybe they don't text you or call you, and you start being like, hold on, wait a minute, I thought we was finished. Like, like, I thought we was together, what you doing? And like, you start like side-eyeing them, but it's like, they're so great, they talk to me, they this, they that, and then it doesn't go nowhere, and you're like fighting to make a relationship good, and it's not going nowhere, right? And I'll give you an example, because I love giving my examples. So I dated this one guy, and when I dated him, it was like he was the first relationship I had after I lost my mom. So I was not in the greatest place to date, but I liked him. He was cool. I think me and my friend had went out to like the club. She was like, "Let's get you out of the house. You're in the house all the time. Like, let's get out. Let's move." So go out, we dance, we have fun. We're leaving the club. She's talking to someone. I'm kind of like standing off, like, let them talk, let them chit chat, get their numbers exchanged and stuff. And as I'm doing that, I'm just like kind of looking around, like la 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 la. And I see this guy, and I see him looking at me, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, dang, he's fine. And I don't pay him, like, but I'm like, because every time I say that, the guy never approaches me, so it was just like, it's whatever. It's the end of the night. I'm ready to go home. My feet is killing me. These heels is tight. It's cold. I'm ready to go home. So I was like, I just saw him, and then like I kept looking around and stuff, and then he came up, asked for my number, and I was like, cool, yeah. And we started going out. We started hanging out. He met my friends. I met a few of his friends, and like it was going good. And then he started doing certain things, like let me see. One of the things he did was like we were supposed to go somewhere, and it was an event for my business, and I asked him like the day that I signed up for it, and the event was like a month or two after I signed up. So like for a month and a half, we're talking about this event. I asked him, would he go with me? He says yes. I'm like, yay! Oh my god, support someone who I'm in a relationship or I'm talking to and getting to know is willing to support me. I've never had that. Like, this is the first time I'm hustling and someone I like is like, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna support you. I'm gonna be your cheerleader. I'm like, like I'm just all excited. And then like the day before, like we were on the phone and I'm like, so are you coming over in the morning? Did you want me to pick you up? Did you want to just come spend the night? Like, how do you want to go about it so that like I know if I need to wake up extra early or, not. So if you come over, then I don't have to wake up earlier because then you just hop in my car when we're ready to go and whatnot. And he's like, uh, so what about what happens at this event? And I'm like, I already told you, like, we're gonna be doing this and this and this. And he's like, that don't sound like a lot of fun. And I'm like, I mean, you're going to be supporting me. And he's like, I know, but it doesn't sound like a lot of fun for me. So I think I'm not going to go. And I'm like, okay, cool. All right, well, I gotta go to bed, so I'll talk to you later. Bye. And he's like, bye, boo. I'm like, bye. And like hang up. And I'm like, I kind of get upset, but I don't say nothing because I'm like, I got this event tomorrow. I gotta get up early. I'm driving from Georgia to North Carolina. I've never been to that part of North Carolina, never driven there. I'm like, I don't know the area. I don't know nothing. So I'm like, I'm going to leave early. So I was like waking up at like 3 a.m. to get ready to go to this event that happened at like noon. But I was, and so when I went to the event, I'm just like, okay, well, it is what it is. Anyway, the whole event day goes. My sister texts me, congratulations, I hope you sell out. My grandpa called me and was like, I bet you're doing good. People love your stuff. My aunt even called me. I got texts from other people, calls and stuff. Not once did he call me. Not once did he text me. And then I'm driving home. And while I'm driving, he calls me and I'm like, hey, what's up? And he's like, you going to the club tonight? I'm like, no. He's like, oh, it sounds like you driving. I'm like, I am. I'm just coming back from an event. And he's like, oh yeah, right. Well, I was calling because I'm thinking about going downtown. I was trying to see if you were gonna go. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I just left my event, so I'm leaving North Carolina. By the time I get home, it's gonna be late, so I probably won't. And he's like, oh, okay. Well, I might not go, but I might. I'm like, okay, well, let me know, I guess. And he's like, all right, bye. Hangs up. And I'm just like, he didn't say, hey, how'd the event go? Even after I told him I went to the event, he wasn't like, did you sell out? What was the scene like? Did you have fun? Like nothing. And I was just like, that's fucked up, And then instead of breaking up with him right then, I was like, and like I said, I wasn't in my best because before my mom passed, I dropped dudes like crazy because I was just like, I don't have to deal with this. You're not my husband. Why do I have to deal with this? So like at this time, I was like starting therapy. So I was kind of overthinking and I was like, maybe he just didn't understand how he hurt me, or maybe like I'm overthinking it, or I put too much pressure on it, or maybe he just isn't ready to support me like that. Like I was like, I overthought it. And like when I told my friends, they were like, I don't know, that's kind of fucked up. And I'm like, yeah, but maybe he just didn't understand how fucked up it was. They're like, well, just have a conversation with him. And when I did, he was like, all he took from me was, oh, I shouldn't have agreed to go if I was going to cancel. And I was like, that you hurt me and that you didn't give a fuck about the fact that I was doing something for my business. Like there was a lot of things, and I sadly stayed with him longer. And he's not a bad guy. He's still a cool person, but in the relationship, he did things like that. And I kept just being like, is it my emotions? Am I just over, like, I can't just think about, like, well, I'm in therapy, so maybe I'm processing my emotions too strong, da, 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 right? And so, um, he meets my brother. My brother is like, he's cool, he's all right? I'm like, okay, cool. Maybe he didn't pick up things I picked up. Then he meets my sister. My sister barely even wants to acknowledge this man. And she's like, after he leaves, she's like, I don't like him. And I'm like, oh, like straight up, I don't like him. Then after they meet, like a week later, we go to the club. Now, when we went, he was kind of in like a bad place. Like he wasn't having a good week or a couple weeks or whatever. And I was like, you seem really down. I want to give you some, I want to like get your spirits up. So I'm like, let's go out. I'll pay for you to get in the club. Let's go out. Let's have some fun. Let's get your mind off this stuff that's making you feel sad. Like, let's go. And he's like, okay, sure. But I'm like, if you want, and he's like, yeah, I want to go out. I don't want to be stuck in the house by myself. So I'm like, okay, cool. I pay to get him in the club. I pay for myself. I pay for him. And then like, I think I bought us a drink or something. I can't remember. But then like when a song came on, I tried to go to the dance floor and it was really crowded that night. So like I like got lost from him in the crowd. But when I went to look for him, I couldn't find him. And I was calling him, I was texting him. And when he finally answered, he was like, oh, I went outside. I'm like, oh, okay, do you want me to come? He's like, no, have fun. And so after a while, I'm like, where the hell is he? And he's like, I don't left. I walked around. I'm this and that. And like, I don't know. It just ruined my night because it was just like, bruh, like you could have said something, like, you know what I mean? Like the communication wasn't there. You weren't, and like, because he wasn't like a terrible person, he was never rude to me, never cussed me out. He never like put his hands on me or never tried to pressure me sexually or like anything. He never was like straight up disrespectful. It was just things he did that I was just like, you don't do that. Like if you tell someone you're going to something, you go to it. And if you can't, the reason you can't should be a big reason, not, oh, I'm not going to have fun. Like we're adults. Life is barely fun. Like, I'm sorry. Somebody had to say it. Life is not as fun as we thought it was as children. Like once you hit a certain age, you start realizing life ain't as great as they make it look at on a TV in movies. Like influencers, they be making life look like it's this amazing thing. And some people they have that, okay? But not everybody. Most of us live a like okay life or a good enough life. So it's like everything can't be fun. Work's not fun, but you go. Most people do not enjoy their jobs. I've met so many people who be like, I hate my fucking job. I can't wait till I win the lottery. I can't wait till I'm rich. I need to get a baby by a billionaire. Like there are so many people out here like that. So for that to be a reason that you cancel on something, like I don't see you canceling on work. Now some of us do call out, not gonna lie. But you know what I mean? So after after he left me in the club, I still didn't break up with him because I was just like, maybe I'm overacting, and then we had a conversation about it because it was like, we need to talk about this because I can't keep having this happen. And when we were talking, I was like, you hurt me. I feel like, you could have said something like, why didn't you? Like, I went out with the guy I'm talking to, the guy I'm in a relationship with, and you can't just be like, hey, the club, I thought I would enjoy the club. I don't feel it. Let's go out. Let's walk around. Let's walk around. Like, downtown in Savannah, beautiful. We could have walked around. We could have just laughed and talked. We could have went and sat in like a little bar or something, like a little hole in the wall bar. But he didn't do that. He just left. Didn't even tell me he was leaving. And I was like, you really hurt me. And he was like, I'm sorry you felt that way. And it's like he said that, and it was like my mind just lost it. And I just kind of went off on him and was just like, I just listed everything that he had did in the relationship that like pissed me off and that I was like overthinking about. And then I was just like, anyway, I'm gonna go. And then like after we got on the call, I ended it with him because it was just like, I can't. I feel like I have to keep explaining why you're doing wrong things. And some of these things don't make no sense to me. Like, I feel like most of us have been taught you don't just cancel on plans for no reason. And if you make plans, you should stick to them. Like, I was raised, my word is my bond. So, like, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And the only way it's not going to be done is if something happened to me, right? Like, that's just how it is. So, when I ended the relationship, I at first felt like, well, maybe I jumped to conclusions, maybe I was rushing things, maybe I just asked for too much. Like, I had all these thoughts in my head, and some of it's like, because I've had people like be like, oh, you're too high maintenance, or you asked for too much, or girl, you weren't giving them enough time, or you got to train your boyfriend, and I was like, listen, I have no kids, so I'm not teaching nobody nothing. I don't have a degree in being a teacher. So I'm not going to teach nobody, okay? I have a degree in Associates of Chemistry, okay? Associates of Chemistry. All right? If you want to know what a test speaker and let's mix up some chemicals, then I'm your girl, okay? High five, that's me. But if you want somebody to teach you how to do something, it's probably not me. I don't think I'm a great teacher. I don't think I'm a great teacher. I feel like I would need a lot more therapy before I could be a teacher because I still carry some of the trauma that my parents have put on me. And it comes out when I try to teach people. So, no. So, I'm not going to teach no man. Nobody's teaching me. I didn't get in a relationship and have to be taught how to respond with people. No man has had to teach me how to be in a relationship. You know, there's certain things that I had to learn, but like taught, like no, especially certain things that are common sense. You know what I mean? So once I got out of it, like I said in the beginning, I was just like, did I move too fast? Was I rational? Da, 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 da. Is my, my emotions from losing my mom affecting how I saw this man? Da, 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 da. And then after a while, I realized, no, I don't deserve someone who can't show up for me when I continuously show up for them. And then when I do show up for them, they take advantage or they do things that don't show their gratitude. You know what I mean? Like when I paid for him to get in the club, he didn't show his gratitude by like, you just left me. You know what I mean? Or like, there's just like, I'm like, I don't want to talk about everything, but I'm like, there's certain things that he's done. And I'm like, there is no gratitude in your actions. And it's like, so that's why I say like, sometimes you have to set those boundaries early. And when you do, sometimes like I said, sometimes people will fight back on that. You know what I mean? I've I've had some bad relationships where like I've been like, oh, I will not do this. And God will go out of their way to try to make me do what they said I wouldn't do, just so they can prove that they can get me to do it. And it's just like, that's not right. And that's why you're not someone I'm in a relationship with. Like so love it can be interesting. It can be tricky. And like I said, I'm not trying to make love sound bad because I think I'm a lover's girl. Okay, I'm a lover's girl. I love love. It's beautiful. I want to be in love. Like it's just hard to find people who are on the same page as me. And honestly, I've been out of the dating game for like almost 3 years basically. Like here and there I'll talk to people, like I might meet someone and they might be cute to me or I'm cute to them and we talking, but then it just kind of fizzles out and stuff. So like I've been out the game. But what I will say is, you know, I think every relationship is worth it. Like when I say worth it, I don't mean like worth going into it like full on, but like every relationship teaches you something new, right? With the relationship I was just speaking on, I kind of learned what I want in a relationship a lot more. Like, even though he wasn't good at communicating certain things with me, he was good at being communicative. Like, he called me a lot and he talked to me a lot. He called me when he would go to work. He'll call me when you drive home from work. He'll call me when you get home from work. Like he would call me while he's cooking his dinner. Like he called a lot. We talked a lot. Even when we were in person, we talked for hours. Like, and I like that. I'm like, I like someone who I can communicate, I can talk with, I can sit on the phone with for hours and never run out of a point, but also be, silent and not feel awkward. Because I had that with him too. Like sometimes I'd be on the phone and he'd be at a drive-through and I just wouldn't be saying nothing. So it's like I like a guy that can talk to me, you know? And then I also learned I like someone who shows up. If they say they're gonna be somewhere, they're gonna do something, I like that if they pull through, because to me, like I said, word is my bond. If I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. And a man that does what he says he's gonna do, mm. I like when a man's like, I'm gonna do this, and they do it, and you're just like, and I didn't have to remind you, I didn't have to tell you, like, it's like when girls are like, I want flowers, and they buy flowers, and they're just like, oh my god, he's so sweet. For me, it's like if I'm like, oh, I want you to go here with me, and they're like, okay, I'll go, and they go, nice. And that might seem like weird or not as crazy, but I'm just saying, like, everybody has like different standards for their relationship, and you learn things. Like, I learned in one relationship that I like someone who actually wants to be there, because I've dated guys who are like, they love when you're doing all the things, or you're cooking, you're taking care of them and stuff. But the moment you start asking, like, oh, when I'm sick, you don't come and like make me soup or bring me soup or call me and check in on me. But when you're sick, I'm calling, I'm sending over soup. I'm over here buying vape rub. I'm over here steaming your fucking room up. I like, you know what I mean? Like, the way that as a woman I've like stepped up when it's in a relationship and then the guy won't match my energy, I learned I don't like that. Like, match my energy, know how to communicate, show up, like, be about your word. Let's see, what else? I like, for me, I I just like feeling like I can rely on someone. And I think that's like most people, they want to rely on their relationships. They want to feel like they are that bit, in that relationship. Like, they want you to make them feel like a queen. Or even as a guy, they probably want you to make them feel like a king. And it's not, you can't do it to everybody, but when you do, it's just like, it's beautiful. And since Valentine's passed, I saw all the videos and pictures of people posting all the things their boyfriends did. And I even saw the Galentine stuff. That was so cute. Like, if I was where my girls are, or like I was near my friends that I'm used to being around, I think I would have done something so cute like that. Like, but I also worked Valentine's Day, so I feel like I probably wouldn't have been able to do it. I would have to do it the day before. But it's so cute. Like, love is so cute when it's good, when it's right, when you're being treated right. It's beautiful. And I really do think that, like, if you know what you want and you go for it, you'll find it. I do believe, like, when you go out looking for things, you find things you don't want. That's why I'm like, I'm single. And if I find someone, I find someone. If I don't, I don't. You know, I know people will be like, but you're 26, you'll be 27. Don't you want to be married? Don't you want to have kids? Don't you? Like, in this generation, kids can wait. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. We can wait to have kids, and there's so many more options for having kids nowadays. You got IVF. You put your eggs away and freeze them and bring them out later, defrost them and shit. Like, so I'm like, I'm not in no rush, because at the end of the day, I'm still working on myself, but I know that when I have love and I'm like working on a relationship, I don't want to play. Like, I'm not here for games. I take love very serious. Like, I want to be a wife. I want to be married. I want to have kids. I want to, I want that. I do. But I'm in no rush to marry the wrong person. I want to marry someone who wants to support me, right? But also allows me to support them. Someone who actually cares about me when I'm sick, if I'm hurt or in an accident or something happens to me, someone says something to me, I want them to feel like, how dare they say something to my girl? I want somebody who I feel like I'm protected by, where it's like, I know if I need your help, you're there for me. I know that when in doubt, I can always go to you. I want somebody who I can talk to like they're my diary, right? Just conversating. I want somebody who, when I cry, I don't have to do it in the bathroom, but I can cry in front of them and I won't be told, oh, you're just being emotional. All women this and all women that. Like, I don't want to hear that. When I'm in a relationship, I want I want someone who can make me laugh, who wants to watch anime with me and cosplay and do all that weird stuff that I like to do. You know what I mean? But I also want someone who's open to try new things, try new foods, maybe go to a different country. Not every girl wants to go to Paris. I want to go to China. You know, I don't want the Mercedes Benz or the this and that. I just want someone who I know is my ride or die, just like guys want ride or dies. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I really do think love is capable. You're capable of finding love. And I really do think that the person that's right for me is out there. And like I said, I'm in no rush, but if you're out there like, hey boo, like where you at? Like like come get me out of the ghetto. It's so ghetto. But at the same time, if you're working on yourself like I'm working on myself, then let's keep working on ourselves and then come find me. Because if we both in the ghetto, acting ghetto, then we don't need to come get each other, okay? Because you can't get yourself out the trenches if you're still in the trenches mindset, okay? If that makes sense, somebody comment up, okay? Okay, down below, because that might not make sense. It makes sense in my head, okay? Um, but basically, I'm cool. Like, love is beautiful. Love is love. I love all the people who are in my life that are happily in love and stuff, and like have great relationships. Because like sometimes, like, also when you know someone who's in a good relationship, talking to them can make you have a different point of view. Like, uh like my little sister, she's married, and like sometimes she'll be like, it's not as easy to get to marriage as some people think it is. And I'm like, I blame social media. I blame movies, because movies make it feel like all you got to do is write 10 things why I got you on say it in a class, and next thing you know, you're gonna be happily in love. Like, or you gotta dress up like a guy and pretend to be a guy, and then mysteriously be a beautiful woman with long, gorgeous hair, and you'll be in love. Like, all these movies be making us feel like, love is gonna be this way. Okay, I'm not looking for the Titanic kind of love. Okay, no Jack, Rose. Like, I don't want that. But like, when you have people around you who have like relationships and happy and successful relationships, it's good to ask them, like, what are some steps? What are these things? And like, I've even had a friend who like told me sometimes it's where you are in life that attracts these type of people. Like if you're in a bad place in life, you might attract people who aren't gonna be the best for you. And you might. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you do. But I think I think love is beautiful, and I think once people start like wanting it, then we'll see it a little more. Right now, we're kind of in a like not an epidemic, but like a lot of people are finally enjoying the freedom of not having to be in a relationship. And I think that's beautiful too. Like I said in the beginning, do you, as long as it's consensual and it's legal, do you, okay? And when you're ready to settle down, if you're never ready, that's cool. If you do choose, like, oh, when I'm 32, I'll settle down, I'll find a husband, I'll have my 2 kids and be cool and that'll be my life. That's cool. I love that for you. I love that for you. I think that's amazing. I really do. Like, but relationships they're tricky. Finding someone who fits your puzzle piece so easily is not easy. You know, you have to go through trials and tribulations. I've gone through a lot of relationships, and not a lot like I've dated like 100 guys or something, not like that. But when I say like a lot, I just mean like I've had different relationships. I've gone on a few dates and then like nothing happened. And so like everybody's a different person. So it's like I've I've experienced different kinds of guys and like so I get it. If you're like, I'm single, but it's not by choice, it's because the men suck or all that. Like, once again, not hating on men. I'm just saying I can understand because I've heard guys say, I'm single because the women I keep going out with. And then, like, okay, if you keep going out with the same kind of woman, where it's like you keep meeting them at the club, change the location that you meet girls at. Go to a diner, go to a library, go to the park. I don't know. Ask your grandma where she met her husband. Like, some people meet their person in Stater Brothers. Some people meet at Little Caesars. Some were just skating. They was kick, push, and coast, right? And they met their mans or their womans. Some were in a skating ring and it was get down on it, and it was hitting the little dances and stuff. Met their match. Some were at a Dodgers game, met their match. So it's like you can't just rely on a club. Like I'm gonna be honest, I stopped choosing guys from the club. I haven't been to the club in a minute, but like whenever I've been at the club, dating guys from the club is not it for me no more. Cause they see you in this party mode and they're like, oh, she's a party girl. Oh, she likes tight clothes. And it's like, that's not me. Like 3% of my life, 3% of the time, I'm probably in a tight outfit. 97% of the time, I'm casual. I'm a casual girly, So I just think whatever works for you, like works for you. Like this episode, I didn't want to be too specific. We're not really like we're just chit chatting. So don't be a little upset that I didn't have like a step by step on how to find love. Because honestly, there's no recipe to finding love. There's no recipe to finding your true match. I'm not gonna sit up here and pretend I'm some love guru. I'm not. I've had bad relationships. I've had good relationships. But I'm still single, so I'm not gonna give y'all no love advice. I'm gonna just tell you what I've been through and hope that helps you. But I just feel like today was a chit chat kind of day. Like, let's just chit chat, let's talk. You might have been like watching this video, like, baby girl, let me tell you what you need to do, and that's cool. That's cool. And once again, I'm not hating on nobody. If you're in a relationship with a boyfriend and a girlfriend, hey, good for you. Shoot. I can't even keep one. I'm playing. But, like, there's no problem with being single. I think being single is fun sometimes because lately I've been just trying to get myself to do things that, like, I usually want to do with people by myself. And it's kind of actually really fun. It's really nice. It's interesting. And then like seeing people. And sometimes you meet people when you go out on your own. And maybe they don't lead nothing. They don't lead to nothing. But you still met people. And that might, meeting someone might lead you to meeting the person. And that's kind of how I like to live life. You never know. Okay, you might meet a cool guy, and he's got a cool, dope, fine brother. And you like, or you might meet a girl and she's cool, but y'all kick it more as friends, and then you meet her sister or her cousin, and you like, oh, okay, and now you married 6 years later or something. I don't know. I'm not gonna write you a story or nothing. I'm not gonna 10 things I hate about you, or she's the man. You explain it to you. But yeah, like, relationships are very interesting. They're like friendships where it's like you have to set your boundaries. You have to know what you'll accept, what you won't. You have to speak up for yourself. You have to let them know, like, listen, I'm not going to sit here and deal with this stuff if you keep doing it. I already told you in the beginning, I don't accept that. I reminded you, you did it again. This is your last time to play with me. And if you do it again, you're going to lose your girl. Okay? That's sometimes how you have to do it, honestly. And those who are in good relationships, I'm happy for you. Like, maybe y'all drop some tea down below. Tell us, like, what did you do to meet your boyfriend? Did you meet your boyfriend in a club or an app? Where'd you meet him? Was it the library? I like books, which I do. So I'm like, meet me a real smart reading kind of man. I like a man that's literate. Yeah, I had to think. I was like, literate, illiterate, literate. But I don't want to keep y'all too long. I'm sorry that I don't know what the heck that was, but we're just gonna pretend I didn't do that. Thanks for chatting with Baddie Brief Diary podcast. You guys, thank you. Once again, I'm sorry I missed last week. Was sick. Feeling a lot better. Yay. Thanks to my sister for recommending Mullen. That shit cleared me right up. Okay? Cleared me up. But yeah. Look forward to some more podcast episodes, some other videos coming soon. I got some things in the works. I just had to figure some things out. But yes, thank you guys for coming to this podcast episode where we talk about love. We're going to call this one Love Bugs Chit Chat, okay? Or something like that. Well, I don't know. Check the title. Anyway, I hope you guys have a beautiful day. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. I hope y'all enjoy my little ramble. I just wanted to keep it light, kiki with you, and hope y'all had a good day. All right. Mwah. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Everybody loves some Brie. Everybody loves some Brie.